Alrighty, guys, Tashina Gonzalez from Bilectiva back here to repeat most of the information that I just shared in Spanish with my audience. As usual, as you hop on here, let me know what city and state you are hailing from. Give me a hi, a hello, a wave. And if you are watching the replay on YouTube or any other medium, please do hashtag replay. So last month we were talking all about natural ways to balance emotions. And I haven't been on here for a week and a half because I have a friend that passed away suddenly. I wasn't aware that she was sick. And so I didn't do my Feel Good Friday because I needed to practice what I preached and put in some of the work that I needed. Rewatch one of my videos that I did on natural ways to deal with grief. So haven't been here in a week and a half, but we're back on track with this video. And so this month, everything that we're going to be talking about has to do with weight management, fitness goals, etc. And so today we're actually kind of combining those because it's really important that we tackle this issue of emotional eating so that we can be successful when it comes to our fitness and weight loss goals. So first of all, what is emotional eating? I looked up an article with very specific information on this. So many people turn to food for comfort, stress relief, or to reward ourselves. And when they do, they tend to reach for unhealthy foods. Emotional eating is using food to make yourself feel better, to fill emotional needs, rather than your stomach. Unfortunately, emotional eating doesn't fix emotional problems. In fact, it usually makes you feel worse. Afterwards, not only does the original emotional issue remain, but you also feel guilty for overeating. So here's some questions that you can ask yourself to see. Do you eat when you're not hungry or when you're full? Do you eat to feel better, to calm or soothe yourself when you're sad, mad, bored, or anxious? Do you reward yourself with food? Do you regularly eat until you've stuffed yourself? Does food make you feel safe, or does food feel like your friend? Do you feel powerless or out of control around food? Occasionally using food as a pick-me-up, a reward, or to celebrate isn't necessarily a bad thing, but when eating is your primary emotional coping mechanism, when your first impulse is to open the fridge whenever you're stressed, upset, angry, lonely, exhausted, or bored, you get stuck in an unhealthy cycle where the real feeling or problem is never addressed. Compounding the problem, you stop learning healthier ways to deal with your emotions. You have a harder time controlling your weight, and you feel increasingly powerless over both food and your feelings. So what's the actual difference between emotional hunger and physical hunger? Because in order to break free from the cycle of emotional eating, you have to learn to distinguish between the two. So emotional hunger comes on suddenly. It hits you in an instant and feels overwhelming and urgent. Physical hunger, on the other hand, usually comes on more gradually. The urge to eat doesn't feel as dire and doesn't demand instant satisfaction unless you haven't eaten for a very long time. Emotional hunger craves specific comfort foods. When you're feeling hungry, almost anything sounds good because you're just trying to feel the hunger. But an emotional hunger craves junk food or sugary snacks that provide an instant rush. You feel like you need cheesecake or pizza and nothing else will do. Emotional hunger often leads to mindless eating. Before you know it, you've eaten a whole bag of chips or an entire pot of ice cream without really paying attention or fully enjoying it. When you are responding to physical hunger, you're usually more aware of what you're doing. Emotional hunger isn't satisfied once you're full. You keep wanting more and more, often eating until you're uncomfortably stuffed. Emotional hunger isn't located in your stomach. Rather than having a growling belly or a pain in your stomach, you feel your hunger as a craving that you cannot get out of your head. You're focused on specific textures, tastes, and smells. Emotional hunger often leads to regret, guilt, and shame. So what do we do to combat this? We need to identify our emotional eating triggers. What situations, places, or feelings make you reach for comfort food? Emotional eating is usually linked to unpleasant feelings, although it can be linked to some habits, such as triggered by positive emotions, by rewarding yourself for a goal or celebrating a specific event. So what are some of the common causes of emotional eating? Stress. So stress can make you hungry. And when we're constantly living chaotically and fast-paced, it can increase our stress hormone cortisol, and cortisol triggers cravings for salty, sweet, and fried foods that give us a burst of energy and pleasure. The more uncontrolled stress in your life, the more likely you are to turn to food for emotional relief. Stuffing emotions. So eating can be a temporary way to silence or stuff down uncomfortable emotions, including anger, fear, sadness, anxiety, loneliness, resentment, and shame. While you're numbing yourself with food, you can avoid the difficult emotions you'd rather not feel. Boredom or feelings of emptiness. Do you ever eat simply to give yourself something to do, to relieve boredom, or as a way to fill a void in your life? You feel unfulfilled and empty, and food is a way to occupy both your mouth and your time. Childhood habits. Sometimes you were rewarded with ice cream, pizza, things of that nature, or you turn to sweets when you're feeling sad. These habits can carry on into adulthood. So what are we going to do to make sure that we can combat this and be successful with our fitness goals this upcoming month that many people have made? Keep an emotional eating diary. So this is something that we always just recommend, period, when you are having health and wellness goals, is to keep a food diary. But in this case, if you have identified and you know for sure that you have the issue of emotional eating, you're going to note down not just your food, but you're going to write down how you're feeling, the situation. Anytime you feel you're feeling a craving, or you have already overeaten, or you're just feeling compelled to reach for your favorite comfort food. So you're going to write down what you ate or wanted to eat, what happened to upset you, how you felt before you ate, how you felt while you were eating, how you felt afterwards, etc. And you'll start to see a pattern emerge. So find other ways to feed your feelings. So if you don't know how to manage your emotions, we talked about that all last month. So make sure that you hop on my YouTube channel and you watch the videos that I published all of December that gave you natural ways to deal with emotions. But some of the things that we already mentioned in those videos were, if you're depressed or lonely, call someone who always makes you feel better, play with your dog or cat, or look at a favorite photo or cherished memento. If you're anxious, expend your nervous energy by dancing to your favorite song, squeezing a stress ball, or taking a brisk walk. If you're exhausted, treat yourself to a hot cup of tea, take a bath, enjoy some soothing scents like those with essential oils, of course, toxic-free. Wrap yourself up in a warm blanket. If you're bored, read a good book, watch a comedy show, explore the outdoors, or turn to an activity you would enjoy. Pause when cravings hit and check in with yourself. Most emotional eaters feel powerless over their food cravings. When the urge hits, it's all you can think about. Because you've tried to resist in the past and failed, you believe your willpower just isn't up to it. But you have more power over your cravings than you think. Commit to taking 5 minutes before giving in to any craving. Check in with yourself. Check in with your emotions. Check in with what's happening. And tell yourself that you can wait 5 minutes. Many times that will allow the craving to leave. Learn to accept your feelings, even the bad ones. So, while it may seem that the core problem is that you're powerless over food, emotional eating actually stems from the feeling of powerless over your emotions. Try to indulge without overeating by savoring your food. Take time, enjoy it, slow down. Practice mindful eating. One thing that happens is that we're eating while we're watching TV or driving or playing on the phone, and this can prevent us from enjoying and lead to overeating. So practice mindful eating by stopping and enjoying the pleasure of your food. And then support yourself with a healthy lifestyle. And these are the things we're going to continue to talk about throughout the month. Make daily exercise a priority. Aim for 8 hours of sleep every night. Make time for relaxation. Connect with others. And then, of course, we always have to give you some additional tools that you can put in your toolbox while you're working through and creating these good habits. And this month, as we have done in the previous months, we will have a challenge that we're going to be doing. And so part of that challenge is going to be using some of our essential oils that can help with cravings while you're working through that. So Sleek blend is one that we're going to be using and taking on a daily basis. And that actually has been scientifically proven to help with satiation or the feelings of fullness. Peppermint is one that's amazing for digestion, peppermint vitality, and has also been known to help with cravings. And grapefruit vitality has been known to help with weight loss as well as can help with cravings as well. So if you're interested in the challenges that we've been doing, feel free to send me a direct message so that you can get all those details. And again, we will be teaching on this all entire month. Our next class is going to be at Sprout Fresh Food Market on Huron Street at 3:30 this Saturday. And we're going to go in depth about healthy habits for weight management and making sure that you meet your fitness goals if you have set some of those. In addition, we will have some Facebook classes and a couple of other classes in other areas for you to tune into. So if you have not done so, please hop on my YouTube channel so that you don't miss any of this education in case I do it super late like I am now or on a day you're not available. And please share this information with anyone that might need it. And as I also already mentioned, if you have not done so yet, please let me know what city and state you're watching me from. And if you're watching the replay, #replay. With that, I am going to end this for tonight. Thank you so much for joining and have an amazing evening, everyone. Bye.